Now we have 8 planets in the solar system. We have 8 planets. Yes, so the sun and its planets, then its satellites, all other small rocky objects, comets, asteroids together form the solar system. So we are learning about the planets in the solar system now. So the first planet is Mercury, isn't it? Mercury. Okay, sun, then 8 planets, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So first here Mercury, this is the first planet, Mercury. It is the smallest of the inner planets. So inner planets in the solar system means along with sun, then Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Up to here it is inner solar system we say. So inner planets. So Mercury is the smallest of the inner planets and the second smallest in the whole solar system. In the whole solar system it is the second smallest planet. It is the hottest planet. Mercury is the hottest planet, we can say. It is the hottest planet in the solar system or second smallest in the solar system. It takes 88 days to orbit the sun. So all the planets are revolving around the sun. So this planet takes 88 days to orbit around the sun. It takes 88 days to orbit around the sun. That is about Mercury. Yes, and it is the planet we can say nearest to the sun. So first planet is Mercury. So it is so nearest to the sun. So it is the smallest planet of the inner planets and the second smallest in the solar system. It is the hottest planet. Then it takes 88 days to orbit around the sun and it is the nearest planet to the sun. Now the next planet is Venus. Mercury, then Venus. Yes, so what about Venus? Venus is the second planet from the sun. Mercury, Venus. So this is the second planet from the sun and the brightest object in the sky other than the sun and the moon. Sun is the brightest object in the sky. After sun, we can say moon is also brightest one. So apart from sun and moon, other than the sun and moon, then comes Venus. It is the brightest object in the sky, like that we can say. Then it takes 225 days to orbit around the sun. Venus takes 225 days to orbit around the sun. And we can say it is also the hottest planet near the sun. Okay, so Venus is the second planet. It is the brightest object in the sky, brightest object in the sky, and at the same time it takes 225 days to orbit around the sun. Yes, it takes 225 days to orbit around the sun. Yes. Then it is also the hottest. Then Earth. The Earth, the third planet from the sun. Mercury, Venus, then comes Earth. 1, 2, 3. So this is the third planet. Earth is the third planet from the sun where we live. It is the only planet where the life exists. And is the largest of the inner planets. Inner planets are Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Among this is the largest, we can say. Earth is the largest of the inner planets and also has the highest density. Means density, the mass by volume. The mass per volume is density. So the density is high for this planet Earth. Then Earth takes 365 and 1/4 days to orbit around the sun. So next is Sun. It is the largest of the inner planets. This is the third planet from the sun and it is the planet where life exists and it takes 365 1/4 days to orbit round the sun. Yes, means almost 1 year. Then Mars, next planet is Mars, M-A-R-S. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Then Mars. It is the fourth planet from the sun. 1, 2, 3, 4. From the sun, Mars is the fourth planet and the seventh largest planet among the planet. Seventh largest planet is Mars. It is sometimes referred to as a red planet, or its nickname is a red planet. So Mars is the seventh largest planet. Sometimes we call it as a red planet also. Its nickname is red planet, we can say. Then it takes 687 days to orbit around the sun. 687 days it will take to orbit around the sun. That is about the planet Mars, red planet. Then comes Mercury, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Yes, it is the largest planet or the biggest planet in the solar system. That is Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest, we can say, or the biggest planet in the solar system. Largest planet, that is Jupiter. Then the fifth planet from the sun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, Jupiter is the fifth planet from the sun and the first of the outer planets. Outer planets in the solar system starts from Jupiter. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So it is the first in the outer planets. Then first of the outer planets. Jupiter has a dominant effect on a large part of the solar system. Means it has the greatest effect on the large part of the solar system. Then it takes 12 years to orbit around the sun, not days. It takes 12 years to orbit around the sun. It has given in years. 12 years it will take to orbit around the sun. That is about Jupiter. After Jupiter comes which planet? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Then comes Saturn. Saturn is the sixth planet from the sun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From sun, Saturn is the sixth planet and the second largest planet. Okay, yes. Then in Roman mythology, the Saturn is the god of agriculture and has been known since prehistoric times. Prehistory, very olden days, ancient days onwards, people believe, in Roman belief, it is this Jupiter or Saturn. It is called as god of agriculture. Saturn is the god of agriculture. In prehistoric times, it is called like that. And it is the sixth planet, second largest. Then it takes 29.5 years to orbit around the sun. 29.5 years to orbit around the sun. Yes, that is Saturn. You can see the picture of Saturn here. Saturn is a beautiful planet, we say, because of the rings around it. It appears to be more beautiful among all the planets. And it is so light, it seems to be float in water. If we see that planet, we say that it is floating in water, like that it appears because of the beautiful rings around it. It seems to float in water because it is so light. That is Saturn. Then Uranus, last planet, second last, Uranus. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. It is the fourth largest planet in the solar system. Fourth largest planet. Second largest is Saturn. Fourth largest planet is Uranus. Seventh from the sun. From the sun, this is the seventh planet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, seventh planet from the sun. Fourth largest planet in the solar system. Uranus is a blue-green color due to the methane in its atmosphere. So Uranus, you can see the picture of Uranus planet here. It's blue in color. So blue-green color it has. Uranus has a blue-green color because of the presence of methane in its atmosphere. There is a presence of methane in that. Many other elements are there in Uranus, but because of methane, what happens, it absorbs the sun's light. Sun's light is that in Uranus, because of methane, it absorbs sun's red light and it gives reflect blue light. So it appears blue actually. So it takes 84 years to orbit around the sun. It takes 84 years to orbit around the sun. Uranus takes 84 years to orbit around the sun. That's about Uranus. So Uranus is the fourth largest planet in the solar system and the seventh from the sun, and it is named after the father of Saturn. Yes, this Uranus got its name after the father of Saturn. Uranus is a blue-green color because of the presence of methane in its atmosphere. Methane absorbs the red light of the sun and reflects the blue light. That's why Uranus appears to be blue-green color, and it takes 84 years to orbit around the sun. Then the last planet, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. Then comes Neptune, the last planet. The eighth planet is Neptune. It is the third largest planet in the solar system. So second largest is Saturn, and third largest planet in the solar system is Neptune, and is usually the second last planet in distance. In distance wise, if we say this is the second last planet, we can say, if we are comparing this planets with the distance from the sun, this is the second last planet in distance. It takes 165 years to orbit around the sun, and Neptune is the coldest planet. It's so cold there, okay? Neptune is the coldest planet in the solar system. So we can say that Neptune is the coldest planet, and it takes 165 years to orbit around the sun. To orbit around the sun, this planet takes 165 years. It is the coldest planet in the solar system and third largest planet, and it takes 165 years to orbit around the sun, and it is the coldest planet. So these are the 8 planets in the solar system. So first planet is the Mercury. Mercury is the smallest of the inner planets and the second smallest in the solar system. And the main thing about Mercury is it is the hottest planet, and it takes 88 days to orbit around the sun. Second is Venus. Venus is the brightest planet in the sky other than moon and sun and moon, and it takes 225 days to orbit around the sun. Then comes Earth. Earth is the third planet from the sun. It is a planet where life exists. Life is there, and 365. It takes 365 and 1/4 days to orbit around the sun. Then comes the fourth planet, Mars. Mars is also known as red planet and the seventh largest planet in the solar system. It takes 87 days to orbit the sun. Next comes Jupiter. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth planet is Jupiter. It is the largest or biggest planet in the solar system, and it takes 12 years to orbit around the sun. Then comes Saturn, sixth planet, Saturn, and it is the sixth planet from the sun, and it is called as god of agriculture. Roman mythology, according to Roman beliefs, it is the god of agriculture, and it takes 29.5 years to orbit around the sun. Next comes Uranus, seventh planet. Actually, Uranus is the fourth largest planet in the solar system. It is a blue-green color because of the presence of methane in its atmosphere. In Uranus, we can see some methane. Because of that, it appears to be blue-green color. It takes 84 years to orbit around the sun. Then comes Neptune, the last planet, eighth planet. It's the coldest planet in the solar system, and it takes 165 years to orbit around the sun. It is the third largest planet in the solar system. So these are the 8 planets. The sun and these 8 planets forms the solar system. Along with these planets, we have satellites are there revolving around the planets. We have some other small rocky objects like comets and asteroids also are there. They all together forms the solar system. Yes, that's about the planets. Now children, next is about artificial satellites. So satellites are actually the heavenly objects that revolve around the planets. So moon is a natural satellite of the earth. The moon is the only natural satellite of the earth, we can say. So there are many satellites for these planets. They have satellites, and among this, moon is the natural satellite of the earth. Earth is also a planet. Earth satellite is moon. Moon is the only natural satellite of earth. So we have natural satellite and we have artificial satellites. Artificial satellites are actually man-made satellites. Okay, they are called as man-made satellites. That's why they are called as artificial, because they are man-made satellites. So these artificial satellites help us in many ways. Man sent many artificial satellites to the space. Because of that, many examples are there, like communication satellites. Because of communication satellite, we can sit at home and can watch live programs in the TV. That is the help because of this communication satellite. Then because of these satellites, we know about the weather forecasting, when the cyclone occurs, or is there any chance of cyclone. About weather prediction can done because of this artificial satellites. And we can in our mobile phone, the GPS location, everything, it is possible because of this artificial satellites. So let us see what is this artificial satellite. Okay, artificial satellite. An artificial satellite is a people-made machine. Yes, it's people-made machine or man-made satellite that orbits a variety of other objects in space. It orbits other objects in space. People, they send this artificial satellite to the space. Many artificial satellites orbit the earth to gather information about the universe. So these artificial satellites orbits. They revolve around the earth and it gives information about the universe to predict the weather. Yes. So the weather satellites are there. What they will do, they take pictures of the movements of the clouds. The camera that is there inside the satellites take pictures, and because of these pictures we can understand about the weather, whether there is a possibility of cyclone is there or not. So weather prediction. Then to help with the navigation of, it helps in navigation, to help with the navigation of ships and planes, to determine the position, the distance from the traveling, and the route, to mention them about the correct route to which they are traveling to reach the destination, directing them the traveling for the correct route and all. That is helping in the navigation of ships and planes, whether there is any problem on their way, on the route to reach the destination. These all satellites help us in finding out. Then to assist in telephone calls over the ocean, to assist in that. Then to observe the earth movement, everything. The satellites are always observing the earth, and as a tool to improve military activities. It is also a tool, a help to improve the military activities. So in all these cases, satellites are helping us. Artificial satellites are helping in all these fields. Okay. So artificial satellites are man-made satellites, help us in weather forecasting. Communication satellites help us for watching live programs in the TV. They help in navigation of ships and planes to direct the routes properly. And then it watch always the earth, the oceans. Then the weather forecasting means predicting whether there is any cyclone warning, and it helps. Actually, it's a tool for military activities. It is also helpful for them to know whether any spy work is going on, any enemy attacking our country. All these things are so helpful because of artificial satellites. Though artificial satellites have mostly orbited Earth, some have orbited the Moon, the Sun, asteroids, Venus, Mars and Jupiter. These satellites mostly study the body around which they are orbiting. So most of the artificial satellites, they orbit around the Earth. Some orbit around the Moon, then the Sun, the asteroids, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. They also orbit around these satellites or these planets, and they study about how around which they are study about these objects which they are orbiting. As a satellite is any object that orbits another. Satellite is an object, actually. It's a heavenly object that revolves around the another object. Artificial satellites are people made. So two types of satellites are the natural and artificial. Natural satellites are created by nature itself. Moon is an example. Artificial satellites are created by man, by humans. People made it is. So artificial satellites are people made. Natural satellites include the moon around the earth and the earth around the sun. Yes, moon around the earth. Moon is a natural satellite of earth, and earth is moving around the sun. Then India has launched many artificial satellites, example like Aryabhatta, Rohini, INSAT, IB, 1B, 1C. Okay, the artificial satellite launched by the people are Aryabhatta. India launched these artificial satellites like Aryabhatta, then Rohini. These are the artificial satellites launched by Indians. Okay, then INSAT 1B, 1C, INSAT 1C. These are the artificial satellites launched by India. Okay, so artificial satellites are man-made satellites. They are helpful us in many ways. Especially communication satellites are helpful. Then it is helpful for weather forecasting. It helps in navigation. Then GPS, global positioning system. It helps locating the location of places in the mobile phone. Then it gives us warning of cyclone. It is it's a tool for military activities. So it is helpful in many ways. It is always observing the earth, actually. So always observing the oceans, earth. So any kind of problem is there arising that we can know through this artificial satellites launched by man. Yes, so that's about artificial satellites. Yes, so children, we have completed the lesson. So in this lesson we learned about our universe. Universe means a vast space. There is no limit to say what is there in the universe. So it includes everything in the space. Space is filled with matter, many things, that from the tiniest object to the gigantic galaxies. So we learned about galaxy, group of stars. It's a actually rotating stellar system or star system. Yes, it's our galaxy is called Milky Way. We learned it looks like a disk when we view through an optical telescope. Then we learned about stars, self-luminous object, incandescent or glowing hot objects or hot gases. They produce their own light. They are so brightest one. Then they have different size. They are different size. We sometimes we see them in pairs, sometimes in group of 3, triplets, and group of 4 also, quadruplets. Then they have their own system of planets and satellites revolving around them. Then sun is also a star. Sun has having their own planets, and the planets have the moons, then satellites, etc. It together form solar system. Then we learned about constellations. Constellations are group of stars. We can see group of stars in the sky, but some group of stars, they form some interesting pattern in the sky, and among them some forms an imaginary pattern with some meaningful signs or designs. It is actually called constellations or zodiac signs, we say, like Cancer or Ursa Major, Orion. These are all zodiac signs. Scorpion, these are the names of the zodiac signs, and it is widely used in astrology. Then we learned about our sun, the huge ball of hot gases, we say. It is actually the sun is at the center of solar system, and the planets are revolving around the sun. It is center of the solar system, or the head of the solar family, we can say. It is appear to be more larger and brighter because it is nearer to the earth, or sun is the nearest star of the earth, we can say. It's the biggest star, or sun is a star. Actually, it is nearest star to the earth. Then we learned about solar system. Yes, solar system means our sun, its planets. 8 planets are there revolving around the sun. Then its satellites, 67 satellites are there. Satellites are some heavenly objects, moves around another object. Then some large number of small bodies like comets and asteroids. This all together forms the solar system. Then all these planets revolving around the sun in elliptical orbit, we learned. Yes, the sun's yearly path, actually yearly path is called ecliptic. It's a imaginary line in the sky which describes the path of the annual path of the sun. And sun is the most important part of the solar system. It is the biggest object actually, and it's of the whole solar system mass, 98% of the whole mass is of the sun, and we can fit 1.3 billions of earth inside the sun. That much big the sun size is. Then the planets, we have inner solar system, which includes sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, and the planets of outer system includes Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Then we learned about each planet. Mercury, the hottest planet, and how many days it takes to complete round the sun or orbit round the sun. Mercury, smallest of inner planets and hottest planet. Then Venus, we learned, is the brightest object in the sky. Then Earth is the planet where life exists, and Mars is a red planet. Jupiter is the largest or biggest planet. Saturn is the god of agriculture. Uranus is the it looks blue color because of the presence of methane in the atmosphere. Neptune is the coldest planet, and all these planets take different years and time or days to orbit around the sun. Yes, then we learned about artificial satellite, which is called man-made satellite, a people-made satellite, we say. There are 2 types of satellites, natural and artificial. Natural satellites are created by nature, like moon. Moon is a natural satellite of Earth. Artificial satellites are created by human beings, and India has launched these many artificial satellites, and these satellites are so much helpful for us to predict the weather. Then communication satellites are help to watch live programs in the TV. Then weather it helps in navigation of ships and planes. Is a tool for military activities. It always observes the earth and oceans, like that. Artificial satellites are so helpful for us. Yes, so it's time to recall. Galaxy is an enormously large cluster of stars. Galaxy means huge, large group of stars. The sun is the most important part of the solar system. It is the head of the solar family. It is the center of the solar system. Constellation means group of stars. Astronauts travels in space. The people, those who travel to space to study about the heavenly objects in the space, they are called astronauts. Astronauts. A-S-T-R-O-N-A-U-T-S. Astronauts are the people, those who go to the space to study about the space, about the heavenly objects in the space, or all the objects in the sky. Yes. So the lesson is completed, children. So hope you enjoyed the lesson. Please read the lesson, children. Read as many times as possible. Learn about our universe, our galaxy, Milky Way, then constellations, stars, planets, solar system, artificial satellites. So learn about this. Try to collect more information about this. Learn about our space, and read the lesson as many times as possible. It will be so easy for you after reading the lesson if you do the exercise. Okay.